They built aircraft that became cars, pioneered turbocharging for the masses, and created some of the most innovative vehicles ever to roll off a production line. But in December 2011, this Swedish icon didn't just die, it was systematically destroyed by the very company that promised to save it. This is the untold story of how corporate greed murdered one of the automotive world's most beloved brands. Picture Sweden in 1945. The war was over, but Svenska Aeroplan AB had spent years perfecting fighter aircraft for their neutral nation. With peace came an unexpected problem. What do you do with all that aeronautical genius when nobody needs warplanes anymore? Their solution was revolutionary. They'd build cars like aircraft. The first Saab 92 wasn't designed by car people at all. It was shaped by aerodynamicists who understood airflow better than anyone in the automotive world. The result looked alien compared to the boxy cars of 1949, a teardrop on wheels with a drag coefficient that would embarrass modern vehicles. But the real innovation was underneath. While every other manufacturer mounted engines conventionally, Saab mounted theirs backwards and drove the front wheels. Why? Because aircraft engineers understood weight distribution and knew that putting heavy components over the driven wheels made perfect sense in Swedish snow. Even the interior screamed aircraft heritage. The ignition sat between the seats, borrowed directly from fighter jet design, where the master switch needed to be accessible to both pilot and co-pilot. The dashboard wrapped around the driver like a cockpit, angling every gauge toward the person behind the wheel. These weren't quirks, they were solutions born from decades of aviation expertise. By the mid-1972, the oil crisis had changed everything. Customers wanted power, but they also demanded efficiency. While German manufacturers chased bigger engines and Americans pursued raw displacement, Saab had a different obsession, extracting maximum power from minimum fuel consumption. In 1977, they unleashed the 99 Turbo, the world's first mass-production turbocharged family car. This wasn't just another performance variant, it was automotive revolution. The technology came straight from Saab's aircraft heritage. They'd been turbocharging airplane engines for decades, understanding boost pressure and heat management in ways traditional car manufacturers couldn't imagine. The 99 Turbo delivered sports car performance from a modest 2-liter engine while returning respectable fuel economy. More importantly, it felt completely different from anything else on the road. That distinctive turbo whoosh became Saab's signature sound, and the smooth power delivery proved that forced induction could be civilized without being boring. By 1982, the 900 Turbo had evolved this formula into something approaching perfection. Automotive journalists called it the most sophisticated production car in the world, and they weren't exaggerating. The 900 combined turbo performance with practical hatchback versatility, wraparound dashboard protection, and heating systems that could warm Arctic cabins within minutes. But Saab had created something even more valuable than a great car. They'd built absolute customer loyalty. Saab owners didn't just buy vehicles, they joined a community. They understood that driving a Saab meant accepting quirks in exchange for character, innovation, and uncompromising safety. Sales peaked, racing victories mounted, and the brand seemed unstoppable. The 900's success wasn't just about performance numbers. It represented everything Saab stood for: Swedish engineering integrity, aircraft-inspired innovation, and a refusal to compromise their vision for mass-market appeal. Owners paid premium prices because they were getting premium thinking, not just premium materials. Then came 1989, and General Motors' seemingly generous offer, a 50% stake that promised global reach while maintaining Saab's independence. GM executives assured enthusiasts that nothing would change. They were lying from day one. The problems started immediately. GM's first demand was platform sharing with other GM brands. The 9000, which had been developed independently, was suddenly expected to accommodate generic GM components. The result was a car that looked like a Saab, but felt like a committee compromise. Even worse, GM fundamentally misunderstood what made Saab special. To Detroit executives, Saab was just another premium brand that needed to be made more accessible to American tastes. They couldn't comprehend that Saab's quirks weren't design flaws, they were the design features that justified the premium price. The 900's replacement perfectly exemplified this cultural destruction. The 9-3, built on GM's Vectra platform, retained Saab styling cues but lost the brand's essential character. The ignition moved from its distinctive between-the-seats position to a conventional steering column location. Unique Saab switchgear disappeared behind generic GM components. According to automotive analysts, the 9-3 retained just 23% parts commonality with traditional Saab components. When GM took full control in 2000, the platform sharing became systematic and devastating one. The 9-3S had on the same Epsilon platform as the Chevrolet Malibu and Pontiac G6. The larger 9-5S head architecture with Cadillac models. This wasn't cost-cutting, it was cultural annihilation. Saab engineers, who had spent decades perfecting front-wheel drive dynamics and turbocharger integration, were suddenly forced to work within platforms designed for American tastes and manufacturing tolerances. The results were predictable and tragic. Road and Track ranked the 9-3 dead last among premium compacts, calling it a part spin special that had lost everything distinctive about Saab. Customer satisfaction plummeted. Saab's dealer network, built around selling sophisticated cars to discerning customers, suddenly found themselves explaining why Saab cost more than mechanically identical GM products. The brand's residual values collapsed, warranty claims mounted, and the loyal customer base began defecting to BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. The 2008 financial crisis exposed just how precarious Saab's position had become. As GM faced bankruptcy, Saab became an obvious disposal candidate. Sales had been declining steadily, from 133,000 units in 2003 to just 93,000 in 2008. Even more telling, in Sweden itself, Saab's market share had fallen from 11.2% in 1995 to just 3.1% in 2008. Dutch sports car manufacturer Spyker purchased Saab in 2010 for €74 million, a fraction of what GM had invested over 2 decades. CEO Victor Mueller promised to restore Saab's innovative spirit, but Spyker lacked the resources for such transformation. The company had annual revenues of just €30 million, less than what BMW spent marketing the 3 Series in Germany alone. Production stopped in April 2011 due to supplier payment issues. Various rescue attempts emerged, including potential partnerships with Chinese manufacturers, but GM blocked every deal involving technology transfer to Chinese companies. On the 19th of December, 2011, with no alternatives remaining, Saab officially filed for bankruptcy. The Trollhättan factory, which had built over 4.5 million cars since 1949, closed permanently. Saab's death couldn't have come at a worse time. The automotive industry was entering an era where their core competencies could have flourished. Electric vehicles require expertise in thermal management, aerodynamics, and system integration, exactly Saab's strength 7. The Tesla Model S, launched the year after Saab's bankruptcy, demonstrated that there was still a market for innovative, technology-focused premium cars. Tesla's approach, prioritizing performance, efficiency, and distinctive design, was essentially the Saab formula applied to electric powertrains. Safety technology, another Saab heritage area, became a crucial competitive differentiator. Brands like Volvo built entire marketing strategies around advanced safety systems that Saab had pioneered decades earlier. Today, Saab exists only in automotive limbo. National Electric Vehicle Sweden owns the rights and produces small numbers of electric vehicles for the Chinese market. These cars wear Saab badges, but have no connection to the brand's heritage or character. The original Saab continues as a defense contractor, but they've definitively stated they have no plans to revive the automotive brand. Saab's death wasn't caused by market forces or changing consumer preferences. It was corporate murder, a systematic destruction of everything that made the brand valuable. GM's fundamental error was treating Saab like a traditional automotive brand rather than understanding its unique position. Saab customers paid premium prices for innovation, character, and exclusivity. GM gave them rebadged Opels with quirky styling. The platform sharing strategy, while financially logical, destroyed Saab's engineering heritage. Generations of knowledge about front-wheel drive dynamics, turbocharger integration, and safety design were abandoned for generic GM solutions. Financial underinvestment accelerated the decline. While BMW spent billions developing new platforms, Saab's entire annual R&D budget under GM never exceeded 200 million euros. Innovation requires investment, and GM simply wasn't willing to fund Saab's development needs. The tragedy isn't just that Saab died, it's that they died unnecessarily. With proper investment, respect for their heritage, and understanding of their market position, Saab could have thrived in today's automotive landscape. Instead, they became a cautionary tale about the destruction of automotive character in pursuit of short-term financial gains. GM's treatment of Saab stands as a masterclass in how not to manage an acquired brand. Instead of leveraging Saab's strengths to differentiate their portfolio, they buried those strengths under layers of corporate conformity. The aircraft that gave Saab their name should have taken to the skies again in the form of cars that dared to be different. Instead, they remain grounded forever, a reminder of what happens when corporate greed overwhelms engineering passion.